What's going on, everybody? I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas or whatever you celebrate. And now we have New Year's Eve and New Year's coming up, and you can bet that I have a story that is directly correlated to New Year's. But welcome and welcome back. Thank you for joining me. And if you saw the live, thank you guys so much. I was nervous, but it kind of went pretty good, I think. So I decided I'm going to do more lives now. Let's go. And I hope you guys can make those in the future as well. Today, I am finishing off our Christmas true crime stories, and I really hope that you enjoy this. Also, don't forget to find the hidden clue that I put in throughout the video, and if you find it, put what it is with the timestamp in the comments to be entered into the giveaway. The first one's coming up in just a week or two. Aren't you excited? I am. Let's get this party started. And also, please, let's get this one up to a nice little 60 likes. I'm feeling the 60 likes, right? We're always hitting 50. Let's hit 60. I believe in you. But I don't want to talk for too long. I want to get straight into the story. So without any further ado, as of now, it's time to slip into a mind that's not our own. Let's go. Do you like gut-wrenching tension that has you on the edge of your seat and waiting for a final twist? Well, if you do, this story is for you. Anne Dedmont's fiery arguments fueled by alcohol always ended with her recklessly driving off into the night. It had become a routine for her husband Roger, who would wait for her to return after she had calmed down a bit. But on that fateful night of March 1st, 1967, Anne never came back. And the next morning, Roger received the devastating news that his wife's lifeless body was found in the middle of the highway between Union, South Carolina, and Spindale, North Carolina. And just like that, Roger went from being an innocent bystander to the prime suspect in his own wife's murder. And despite maintaining his innocence, he was ruthlessly sentenced to 18 years in Union County Prison Camp. And after this, the calm and quiet evening on February 8th, 1968 was shattered by the shrill ring of Bill Gibbons' phone. With trembling hands, he answered the call, only to hear a distorted voice claiming to be the killer of Anne Dedmont. And this caller gave chilling details about the crime and then ominously instructed Gibbons on where to find 2 more bodies. And despite his disbelief, Gibbons couldn't ignore this lead and immediately alerted the authorities, heart racing as he feared for the safety of the victims and the identity of this twisted killer if true. So the officers at this point followed this cryptic instructions to an isolated spot near Peoples Creek Bridge. There, they found the lifeless body of 20-year-old Nancy Paris, reported missing by her frantic husband just a day before. But as they searched the area, they came upon another gruesome discovery: the strangled body of 14-year-old Nancy Reinhardt, missing for a harrowing 10 days. And the corpses bore evidence of torture, with countless cigarette burns etched into their skin. It was then revealed that Reinhardt had been held captive for a nightmarish 10 days before meeting her tragic fate. But the terror was far from over. On February 12th, 1968, Bill Gibbons received another chilling phone call from this deranged killer who confessed to the murders and ominously threatened more deaths if they don't catch him. And sadly, but true to his word, the very next day, 15-year-old Opal Buxton was snatched off the street in broad daylight as her younger siblings watched in horror from afar. And Opal was tossed into this blue sedan, leaving behind only fear and devastation for those who saw it happen. It was at this point that Opal's brother frantically raced home, his heart pounding in his chest as he dialed their father's phone number. But when Emmanuel Buxton arrived at the scene, the blue sedan had already been gone, leaving only Opal's school books strewn across the blacktop as a chilling reminder of her abduction. At this point, a massive search was launched for the missing girl, with every passing hour filled with terror and desperation. 2 days later, on February 15th, 2 civilian volunteers, Theodore Lang and Frank Henders, were scouring a deserted rural road when they spotted a man loitering next to a blue sedan. And as soon as he saw them looking at him, the man hastily leapt into his car and then sped off. But not before Henders managed to jot down his license plate number. The police were immediately notified and an intense search ensued near that area. Finally, their efforts unfortunately paid off. Opal's lifeless body was discovered, brutally stabbed and bearing the same telltale cigarette burns as the other victims. But the investigators wasted no time in tracing the license plate to its owner, a 30-year-old man named Leroy Martin. Martin then was placed under constant surveillance as the police meticulously built up their case against him. This weight of the upcoming arrest hung over him like a dark cloud, suffocating and paralyzing. And finally, on a seemingly ordinary day at work, Martin's world came crashing down as he was handcuffed and dragged away to finally face justice. After just 2 days, he cracked under pressure and confessed to all the brutal killings. Now, despite being convicted and sentenced to 4 life sentences, Martin would only spend less than 3 years behind bars. But wait, there's a reason for that. Because his time in prison would be cut short when on May 31st, 1972, fellow inmate Kenneth Rumsey stabbed him to death in a vicious dispute over the affections of another prisoner. And no worries, because Roger Dedman, who was originally given 18 years for a crime he did not commit, was released after serving 1 full year in jail. This time, the true perpetrator met his end while the innocent man made it out of jail alive. But remember, that's not always the case. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning into Mystery Files. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please hit that like button. Let's get this up to like 70 likes. What do you say? And seriously, thank you guys so much for your time. I hope you enjoy the rest of the holidays, and I love you all. Cheers.